Alright, today I wanted to do this 1957 sleaze book. Sleazy crime book here, The Promoter, by Orrie Hitt. Orrie Hitt is a real guy. This is really his name. The Paperback Warrior did a great article about him, which I will put down in the link, and it was also an episode of their podcast, which I absolutely love. And if you haven't checked it out, I will definitely put a link down there. I listen to it on Spotify. I don't know how to put an Apple link, but you can find it. It's called Paperback Warrior Podcast, and look up the episode of Orrie Hitt. I mean, listen to them all, but just specifically for this book, it's the Orrie Hitt one. It's about the author of The Promoter, which I'm not even sure that this book is probably supposed to be called The Promoter. You know, Sleaze isn't known for their tight editing. And though this book doesn't have like any editing problems, I'm assuming he probably did it himself. The back cover synopsis here is not for this book. But it's really weird because it's really close. Like, there is a syndicate of sin, but these characters are not in this book. And this plot is not. There's no mob. There's no, no mafia, no Maryland, no Al Robbins. So I don't know. So it kind of makes me wonder if it's even supposed to be called The Promoter. As it says, Vice was his business and he loved his work, but this guy is not in Vice, like the main character. And, he does kind of promote this stuff, which we'll get to, but he didn't love it. So, I don't know. It's just salacious, definitely as a selling point, but it seems like they might have made a mistake and put the wrong cover on the wrong story. But it's just a guess. I don't know. Maybe it's right. Maybe, they don't give a shit. So the story starts off, it's the main guy is Bill Morgan. He's a reporter he writes articles about hot rods. And he goes to this preacher's house with the young men in the congregation. They rebuild a hot rod. So he's there to do an article about it. When he gets there, obviously the preacher has a super hot daughter. And she's being flirty with Bill Morgan. But not, I don't know, she's not, it doesn't seem like she's really that into it. She's just bored. Next day, Bill gets a second with her alone, and she's like, I'm out of here. This place sucks. My dad sucks. And her dad does suck. He just ignores her and treats her like a slave. So she dips out. Bill Morgan does the article about the hot rod, and then afterwards the preacher's like, hey, I want to talk to you. And Bill's like, oh, here we go. He's like, I want to hire you to do an expose about all this porn that's infiltrating our town, our small town. And he's like, you want me to write? He's like, yeah, we have lots of money. There's this moral group that I'm a part of that has all this money, and we want to pay you lots to expose who's doing this because the cops won't do shit. So Bill's like, yeah, okay, you're gonna pay me lots of money, cool. And then at the end, the preacher's like, oh, by the way, when you're out there, can you find my daughter? She ran away. And Bill's like, yeah, sure, man. So Bill, he starts, during his short conversation with his daughter, she told him of a friend that's in the city that's going to get her a job. So he hunts down the daughter, or the daughter's friend, tries to get the information out. She doesn't know where preacher's daughter is. He fucks her. I don't remember if it was on the first day, but I do know that this dude is mad hypocritical. This guy is such a fucking hypocrite. He walks around and he every woman that he sees obviously is just like objectified. He's like, oh man, she looks so good. This banging hips, and also breasts were described in the weirdest way, where it was like, it's supposed to be enticing, and it's like, and I noticed her breasts were pointy and wide apart. I'm just like, wide apart? Like, I've never heard it described in that way as something that's good. Oh, have you seen, oh man, check her out. Look at how wide apart her boobs are, man. She's hot. But at the same time, he, like, you know, is disgusted by all this porn. So when he's working on the porn stuff, he goes around and he buys a bunch of it. And he's like disgusted by it. Except for these couple pictures. It's so funny. He's just sickened by the whole thing, but whoa, this is hot. Like the same hand, like the same thought. He just is disgusted. And turned on. Which, I mean, yeah, that's porn right there, huh? So Donna's friend hooks him up with some modeling agency. He gets in, he goes undercover, works his way up the pornography ring. He gets in with them. It gets a little monotonous because each step's kind of the same. You kind of meet the same type of characters. There's lots of ladies in it, like lots of madams, I guess, sort of. Some creepy dudes, but not as many. It's mostly the madams. So yeah, he has no problem like sleeping with these ladies to get the answers he needs. He basically makes himself a prostitute without realizing that, like, you are doing the same thing that you're disgusted by. But, you know, his is for like a good cause to end it. Unlike theirs, which is, you know, just to eat and survive. At one point, he hires a prostitute because, you know, he has to prove that he's really a pimp. So he hires this girl to go to this party to fuck these dudes. On this point, though, he is, like, aware. And he's, like, totally sickened. I think he throws up or something. Throws up by the, you know, he's so disgusted with himself. But he does it because, you know, you got to do what you got to do. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious that the preacher's daughter is going to make an appearance in the porn ring. You know, she's been brainwashed or on drugs or whatever. She's not supposed to be there. Not that one. That one's okay, but, you know, the other ladies. So, it's not just porn. People, like, willing to do it and want to do it. And they're, like, manipulating women with drugs and stuff. So it is bad. But the ideology that all of it's bad, while still being, like, turned on by it, still being into it, is such bullshit. He's kind of annoying, man. The main character, you fucking hate him. As far as the story goes, it's written pretty well. It gets monotonous, but there's not a lot. I don't know. I don't want to say there's not a lot going on, because stuff goes on. I mean, like, he gets typical, you know, clubbed over the head by a mystery person. There is this cool part where he busts into this dude's apartment and beats the shit out of him. So that was good. There's lots of sex, but it's all insinuated. It's not even like a little bit. It's not even like a touch in a boob and then it fades to black. It's like they're talking and then it's the next day. So the sex is like almost non-existent for a sleaze book. Lots of pointy boob descriptions. Lots of hips and stuff. And then the end comes and there's this part that is like I did not see coming, and I was like, what? It kind of M. Night Shyamalan's you, where you go back and look and be like, oh yeah, look at that. So, good job, Orrie. But was it worth it? I don't know. It kind of is, but I mean, it's a sleaze book. As far as a sleaze book would go, I would say this is better than any that I've read before. Was it supposed to be called The Promoter? Who knows? Only Orrie knows. That guy looks pretty happy, though.